Good evening, Wizards Nation. I'm a bit late. I'm actually 2 hours late. But breaking news, we just gave Tristan Vukcevic, a.k.a. the Vooch, a 3-year deal. I'm happy for him, man. We're going to get straight to it and we'll show you all the stats. The first thing that came to my head regarding this deal was not even, I think the Vooch in his recent play has earned his contract extension. We're going to get to that in a bit. But Will Dawkins, every pick that Will Dawkins has made, remember, the Vooch was in the first draft class with Bilal Coulibaly. The Vooch was a second-round pick. Coulibaly obviously was a 7th overall pick. Every draft pick in the Will Dawkins era is still with the Wizards. There are no more throwaway second-round picks that we've done. How many times over the Andrew Grunfeld, Tommy Shepard era? We have everybody here locked down for the foreseeable future, and perhaps the Vooch grows into a player that is, possibly our backup big man moving forward. Now, I don't think it's set in stone yet, but you know what I mean? We'll see. The Hawks TV says, "What up, DB, man? What's up, man? Crocsbano sucks, man. Good job, Vooch. The first official Will Dawkins re-signing, right?" But I believe you're right, yeah. But yeah, honest, my take, man, first things first, I'm happy for Tristan Vukcevic, man. I love it. Shout out to Tristan Vukcevic, a.k.a. the Vooch. We refer to him as the Vooch here. We refer to him as the Vooch because it sounds cool. Hey, man, this also should show, I guess, a sign within that locker room. You start balling out. We've seen that this development, especially, this man had 6 stocks recently. 6 stocks. 6 stocks in the first game against the Pacers. 6. Red Wing says, "Seems they believe in the Vooch as the backup center. He has his limitations, but he's decent depth." We're going to get to that. I want to get a feel of Wizards Nation regarding this. But man, I'm really happy for him. I'm not going to lie. I got 3 more years now of saying the Vooch. Now, I don't know. I don't think it's set in stone that he is the actual dude moving forward. Perhaps he is. But if all else fails with Tristan, with us, we can move him. We got a young prospected 7-foot big man with, really intriguing offensive potential on the cheap. So we're not going to let him go for anything, for nothing. I might sound crazy saying this, but I definitely, we all believe in his potential offensively, but, I think he has value. When I think of Tristan Vukcevic, and correct me if I'm wrong, I see shades of Mo Wagner. Remember, Mo Wagner was with us for a couple of years, and then now he's in Orlando with his brother, Franz Wagner. I see Mo Wagner as perhaps his possible NBA comparison, and Mo Wagner was balling before he got injured recently with the Magic. Not recently, but he got a torn ACL. Jerry Juice Smoke says, "I think his limitations are covered by the other depth at the big spots next year. He also has more potential than I think, given not getting many offensive touches most games thus far." That's true. But I want to talk about his defensive playmaking ability as of late. We're going to get to that in a bit. But he has definitely improved. His stock game has gone through the roof recently. Like I said, he had 6 stocks against the Pacers. And that's pretty much all we need from him. He's never going to be Alex Sarr. Let's just be honest. The Vooch is never going to be Alex Sarr. He needs to find his own route. He needs to find his own identity. Red Ring says, "We're lacking in big depth as is. Even if we do address center and free agency, this makes sense." Yes. So here's that thing. Josh Robbins also stated this. "In other words, the impending Vukcevic signing does not necessarily mean that Vukcevic will be the top man or top big man backup moving forward. Although Vukcevic has improved, he's still young, kid's only 22 years old, and the Wizards will need more physicality and toughness," which I thoroughly agree with. We all agree with that, behind Sarr at center. Now, Anthony Davis is in the fold. We don't know how long Anthony Davis is going to be here in D.C., but Anthony Davis is he's a perfect complement for anybody in the front court. But with Sarr, he provides that physicality and toughness, and sometimes frailness, injury prone, but you know what I mean. But, one thing I've been calling for this entire season was I've been calling for Vukcevic or Vooch and Sarr minutes together. I've been calling for that this entire season. I'll say, mark me intrigued with that. I want to see the Vooch and Sarr play together. So the deal that he got, Greg Fenberg beautifully put it up. Will Pullen. He says it's a smart deal. Also, yeah, this is great. Yeah, he brought this up. The Vooch was ineligible for another two-way deal, which he currently was on right now. Under the two-way deal, he's only allowed to play a certain amount of games this season. I don't know if he was reaching the threshold. Perhaps he was. We're going to get to that in a bit. Wizards were proactive in getting a deal done. The deal is this: 3 years, $9 million. That's awesome. For a dude who's 22 years old, like Greg Fenberg says, lots of potential, especially offensively. We see his defensive game or defensive. I mean, we all know defensively he needs to improve. That's his main thing. Also, offensively, I'm not like his playmaking is not. This man has tunnel vision. He needs to improve that as well. But 3 years, $9 million in total, and it is reported by Greg Fenberg that it's a team option in year 3. A team option in year 3. So that makes it even more desirable. Will Pullen says, wow, that's a great deal for the Vooch. Yeah, man, I'm happy for him. I think, who was it that said it earlier? Coxwano Sucks. I think this is the first official Will Dawkins re-signing. Yeah, you're right. Bilal Coulibaly did not get... Yeah, this is it. Shout out to the Vooch. And not only that, shout out to Will Dawkins. This, to me, is indicative of Will Dawkins as well, because all of the draft picks that Will Dawkins has made since 2023 are still with the roster, and all of them perhaps have great expectations of being here long term. So, you know what I mean? Like the Vooch was the only one that we were all a bit in a limbo with, a bit. We're just like, he has potential, but offensively we don't know, But now we locked him down. So every draft pick that Will Dawkins has made so far has provided some sort of value. It's all the second round picks, dude. We see Jameer Watkins this year, who's showing flashes defensively as being a possible, perhaps 3-and-D dude that the NBA covets. I thought Justin was the first free signing, says DJ Reek. You're right. Well, from the draft class that we've drafted. We didn't draft Justin Champagnie. Well, Will Dawkins didn't draft Justin Champagnie. But that's a good note. Shit. DJ, shut my ass up with that one. No, you're right. No, he right. But yeah, I think this should show us in this 3-year window that every draft pick that Will Dawkins has made is providing some sort of value. That's awesome. Second round picks. Throughout my entire life as a fucking fan from the Ernie Grunfeld, Tommy Shepard era, I'm used to seeing throwaway second round picks being stashed in Europe. How many times have we seen that? Or selling our second round picks? Oh my God. Selling these second round picks out the trunk of our car. That was Ernie Grunfeld. We're making value of these second round picks. You see now, like, we know how, Will Dawkins covered second round picks. We got second round picks for days. It's nice to see and nice to have a GM that knows what to do and knows how to cook at the end of the draft class. Awesome. And like I said, my comparison for the Vooch, if all goes well, is Mo Wagner. Let's get to the Vooch's stats. So this year he's played 35 games, and we know about the threshold for the two-way contracts. It kind of sucks because you can't really see, you can't really properly judge this dude's development. He's only playing 12 minutes a night, and even then, we've seen him in the past couple of games against the Pacers. He's going off, and he's going off, but then we have to hold him back on a minutes restriction for the tank, pretty much. Whatever happened to Thomas Satoransky? Thinking about those. I'm not gonna lie, Thomas Satoransky was probably the best second round pick of the Grunfeld era. I was a huge fan of Satoransky. I'm not going to lie. All those facials that this man provided, I was a huge fan of his. And then he went to the Bulls. And he came back. Anyways, going back to the Vooch. Let's see his recent game log. Because recently, so look at this. In the month of February, he is averaging 13.6 points, 47% from the three, 55% from the field. Kid's been balling. 47% from the three, and he shot 0 of 5 last night against the Pacers. Kid has been balling. Averaging 4.6 rebounds in 17 minutes of play, or 18 minutes of play. Sorry, my dog's barking. He's almost done. A block in 18 minutes of play. Look at this. He had, 6 stocks. 6 stocks against the Pacers a couple nights ago. 6. Seis. Rich Reloader says, Satoransky and Vesely are both on the same team in Europe. Oh. That's dope. What is it? I don't know. But look at the Vooch, man. He's been balling as of late, and they've rewarded him with this. This is also going to send, hopefully, a message in the locker room saying, you ball, you buy into the system, you get to buy into the development program, you're going to be rewarded. You're going to be rewarded. Who's next? That's my question to you guys. Who's next? Ideal person who's next is Be Cool. Coulibaly. Coulibaly's next. Will they do Coulibaly? A lot of us been, myself included, been in the camp of let's lowball Bilal Coulibaly this offseason. Let's get him a team-friendly contract so that he is here while his game continues to progress. I'm still buying the Bilal Coulibaly stock, but ideally he's next. He has to be next one, actually. He is the next one, actually. Like, what are they going to do with him? And I like to think that he's going to be here long term, unless a possible trade happens. We saw Michael Winger single out Bilal Coulibaly in his press conference a couple of weeks ago. Winger pretty much said that Bilal Coulibaly has developed into one of the best on-ball defenders in this league. We know this already, and he's only improving. Coulibaly is how old now? 21 years old? He's younger than the Vooch. He's younger than the Vooch. Bilal Coulibaly has he is super raw, man. I think what we don't realize with him is that he is nowhere near his prime. As a matter of fact, Dawkins said he is 3 to 5 years away from entering his prime, which is crazy considering we've had him since 2023. Anyways, going back to the Vooch, man, I'm super, super, super happy for him. Bilal Coulibaly lose against the Pacers, and I got a contract for you. Hey, man, I got a video right after this. I know I talked about it recently regarding Ted Leonsis. I got a video. I'm going off on Ted. I went off on Ted. I held back. I don't know. But I got a video on Ted. It's going after this video. That's the main reason why it took forever to get online. I should have gone online immediately. That was my fault. Steve Harvey, I don't want the tutu. Yes, sir. Shout out to the Vooch, man. Shout out to the Vooch. Now, I will admit, I'm not going to lie, even with this signing, as reported by Robbins and also Finberg in their analysis, I still want another big man backup to compete with the Vooch next year. I am ideally looking at a veteran backup center. I'm looking at a guy who can rebound. Defensive rebounding is a strength. A rim protector. We just need somebody with physicality and toughness, just like how Josh Robbins said. Let me pull up the actual free agents right now that we have next year. Because I saw Andre Drummond's name. And I thought about him for a bit. I was just like, he'll come cheap. Is he in shape though? I don't know. But like perhaps he fits the mold of what we need. I'm assuming that, we are going to get somebody in free agency to compete with the Vooch. We all know competition breeds greatness. Da 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 da. That's the truth. It's the truth. But here's the list right now for you guys, and y'all let me know what y'all think. Who do you guys want? Because it definitely seems like we're gonna bring in somebody else. This should not deter us from bringing in somebody else. As a matter of fact, if anything, it's also great, depth with the Vooch. But who would you guys like to see as a prospective big man or veteran big man to compete with the Vooch? Now, we have to also take into account the Vooch is still improving. And like we talked about here, he's only played in 35 games this year. It's kind of hard to improve your game if you're playing limited, not only that, but limited minutes. So we could still see a very, nice curve of improvement from the Vooch. I'm definitely not counting that out with him. But these are the free agents for next year, or this offseason, sorry. I'm also intrigued by Robert Williams, but also his injury history is a little bit weird. Young Mel says somebody that can play defense. That's true. Obviously, yes, I completely agree. Robert Williams is somebody I'm interested in. Nurkic, no. We got the Vooch. The Nurkic is offensively, no offense. Isaiah Hartenstein's a guy. He's a club option. Y'all can't see it, but he has a club option. But I don't know. Obviously, I would love Isaiah Hartenstein, but the Thunder are pretty much going to have the final say in that one if he becomes available. Yardo B says, yeah, we're getting Bagley back. That's true. That's definitely true. Definitely true. Definitely true. I've been saying, we not just me, screw me. We've all been saying that. If we bring Bagley back, the Vooch is still great, great depth. But I'm not going to lie. The way I'm thinking about it right now, I'm not counting out the Vooch next year. I think the Vooch is going to give, I think, and it's not because of this contract extension. I think the Vooch is going to be given a chance to compete for the backup big. This move shows me that the Wizards are very encouraged with his current development. Obviously, we are invested in him because we drafted him in 2023 second round pick. I'm not saying he's going to win the backup job. I'm not. I'm just saying he's going to be given a chance. You're not going to give a contract extension to a young buck for nothing. Like, this shows me that, like, the way they rewarded Justin Champagnie, they saw his development. Not only that, we're talking about his development on court. We're talking about his development on court because that's the only thing we see. But off the court, I'm pretty sure they saw Champagnie grinding after practice, fully devoted and bought in. And that's why that helped them in their decision-making to give him that contract extension for Champagnie, which was awesome. What if they saw the same thing in the Vooch? I like to think they probably did. They probably saw a guy who has been grinding, before, during, after practice, a guy who's bought into the system. They probably see maturity with him as well. They're honestly just buying the stock with him in his progress moving forward in the NBA. I'm just saying. And this is coming from a guy who I'm really happy for Tristan. Oh, the Vooch. But I'm not going to lie. In the beginning of the season, I was a bit critical of him. Not because of just like, my criticism towards him was mainly because he didn't really fit the mold of what we need as a backup center. And yeah, but he has shut my ass up. I'm not going to lie, but I've always been, impressed with, not even impressed, but like I've always been intrigued with his game offensively. But this is the current, free agents right now. Kevon Looney, perhaps. Kevon Looney. I'm assuming Yardo Beef. No, I think Yardo Beef is correct. Bags is going to be option number one. Bags is going to be option number one. Even with this contract signing, we still got money to blow. Bags is there. If Bags is not back, though, If Bags does not come back, who would you guys want? I was interested in Day'Ron Sharp, but he might come a little bit more expensive, though. Kevon Looney, Robert Williams, but the injury concerns, though, it sucks. Crocswano Sock says AD could bring another level of competition out the Vooch because he got to go against him in the practice, which is possibly the most competition he ever had. That's true. That's also true. Yeah. Oh, AD is going to toughen up these dudes. Yo, Dirty Bugger. Just because I got a V-neck on? This is my pajamas, boy. Ron Sharp. Yeah. Oh yeah, so Andre Drummond's the guy who I was looking at. Again, he's backup. Would you guys want Andre Drummond? He's a great rebounder defensively. You know, he'll come cheap. Nick Richards is a guy I'm also interested in. I think Nick Richards, we saw him when he was with the Suns, how he wrecked us. I would be interested in Nick Richards. Not going to lie. Jalen Duren's, that's not going to happen. Mark Williams, is not going to happen. Drummond is washed up. Yeah, no, I agree. But as somebody like a veteran backup big who's cheap, we'll see. Kevin Love, no offense, no thank you. Bismack Biyombo, I'm out. DeAndre Jordan is too old. No offense, 38 years old. Jackson Hayes, no. G Wiz gonna beat his ass if he comes here. Walker Kessler, we've already talked about that. Thomas Bryant, perhaps. But then again, his game has never been defensively. Thomas Bryant is pretty much maybe the Vooch offensively. Maybe Thomas Bryant, but I don't think so. I don't think he fits the mold of what we need. Ariel Hukporti. Didn't somebody say his name here? Listen to me. Ariel Hukporti from the Knicks. He's a restricted free agent, though. We'll see. Ariel Hukporti. What about him, Steve Harvey? Let us know. Give me a sentence summary of Ariel. Peach Buttigieg. Jock Londell. Micah Potter. I saw enough of him last night. No. Chris Nicoloco. But now look, the Vooch. But he's about to turn 23, though, the Vooch. Take him off the list. That's pretty much it. I'm not going to lie. Nick Richards. Remember the name. Nick Richards. Let's go to power forwards. LeBron James. I made a video about that yesterday. I thought about Porzingis or Tingus Pingus, but I was just like, no, I mean, just too injured. Much respect to him, though. He actually loved DC when he was here. But no, not only that, but he doesn't fit the mold. He doesn't physicality and toughness. He's getting up there in age. Much respect, though. Tobias Harris, no. Power forward. Draymond Green. Somebody was talking about in the chat of perhaps the Vooch playing power forward. I keep saying I want to see the Vooch playing with Alex Sarr. They kind of cancel each other out, though, to a certain degree. I mean, the Vooch's lack of rim protection is masked by Sarr. And going back to the Vooch's stats, what time is it at the USA? It's currently 9:30 in UK. Oh, that's awesome. Shout out to the UK. It is 4:30 here, Eastern Time in Maryland. 4:30 p.m. So the Vooch, let's go to the stats real quick here. This year he's shooting 27% from the three. I'm not going to lie, though. I don't think this is indicative of a type of shooter that he is. I think more around here last year. This man, dude, last year, especially towards the end of the season, we saw him ball out. Like mid-March till April, he was balling out. Last year, 50% from the field, 37% from the three, 4 rebounds, almost a block in 15 minutes of play, 9.4 points. This year, unfortunately, due to roster construction, his two-way contract status, his minutes have dipped a bit, but I like to think this is the Vukcevic time right now. Will he play? I'm assuming he's going to play a lot, but we saw him recently get his minutes cut down, and he was ruled out in the fourth quarter. He was ruled out in the fourth quarter yesterday. I like to think it's mainly because he was balling. 20 points. He had 14 points in 20 minutes. 14 points in 20 minutes. 8 rebounds, 1 assist, 1 block. The first game against the Pacers, this man was on fire and awesome. 12 points, 6 stocks in 17 minutes of play. 2 of 3 from the 3. We'll see. This is something I want to keep my eye on regarding the Vooch. Yeah, Vooch and Champagne saved my fantasy NBA league end of last year. Yeah. We'll see, though. That's just one thing I am looking out on. The Vooch started last night and only played 20 minutes. And I talked about on the stream, is he too good for the tank? Is he? Was he previously dubbed as a tank commander? That's one thing to look out on, but I just want to sim the rest of this season. I just want to go to April, man. I'm sick and tired. I'm not worried about us losing our pick, but I'm just sick and tired of just being in this position, man. Not seeing Trey Johnson and Will Riley play big minutes. I'm not going to lie. While I do understand it, it does really suck. It sucks. Big time. You want to see them ball out. You want to see them develop and get experience for next year. But anyways, I'm going to call it quits, dude. I want to keep it underneath 30 minutes. Shout out to Tristan Vukcevic. 3-year deal. Creates big man depth behind Alex Har and Anthony Davis for the 2026-2027 season. I'm going to end this stream with this. Y'all. Obviously, this is not going to stop us from getting another backup center to compete with the Vooch. Perhaps should be, hopefully, Marvin Bagley. But it definitely seems like the Wizards see value in the Vooch. They are investing in him more. So if the Vooch is not here long term, I wouldn't be surprised if we trade him. Maybe they said to themselves, this dude's going to be snatched up in the restricted free agency. Let's keep him and then let's flip him. Perhaps. I don't know. And the only reason they would do that is because they would think around the league that teams might be interested in the Vooch because they're also buying his potential moving forward. That's just food for thought. Just thinking out loud. But I think there's no downsides in this contract extension whatsoever. It's just a beautiful all around. Live Life Love says, what up, TV, for accepting the challenge and getting better on both ends, especially defense. Yeah. Continued improvement. Shout out to Will Dawkins. Every single one of our draft picks are still here under contract, and every single one of them have prospective big futures here. We haven't pretty much missed on one. And what I mean by missed is a dude who's no longer on our roster who we drafted. Or a dude who has no potential whatsoever. We haven't had a Johnny Davis, even in the second round. No offense to Johnny Davis. No, but we haven't had one. Better days are not ahead. They're here. Shout out to Will Dawkins and company. But not freaking Ted Leonsis. I can't with Ted, boy. I can't with Ted. Anyways, I'm going to call it quits, y'all. We play the Hornets tomorrow at 6 p.m. I believe it's here. Hold on. I think it's here in D.C. Washington Wizards schedule. No, it's in Charlotte. No, it's here. We play the Hornets tomorrow, so hopefully. I mean, I'm not worried. I think we'll be fine. Hornets are playing much better as of late. They have all the incentive to win. Come on, Hornets. Spank that ass. John Davis was so bad, and I was so glad that I predicted him being a bust. I would say Boozer would be fire in Washington. Hey, Steve Harvey, I think anybody in top 8, man. Anybody in top 8. But yeah, of course, we deserve top 3. We deserve top 3. We deserve Boozer. We deserve him. But top 8, Mikal Brown Jr., Darius Acuff at 7 or 8 will still be amazing for us. But we'll see. Live Life Live says, I expect Jameer to get a deal next year as well. Yep, Jameer, perhaps. Yeah, we're talking about dudes who are going to be the next. We said earlier, Live Life Live, who's going to be the next guy to get a contract extension from the draft classes. And obviously the main one is Bala Coulibaly. He's up next. But Jameer, who's currently on a 2-way, and considering his progress that we've seen throughout this year and the promise, he could be next too. Yeah. But we'll see what they do with Bilal. We'll see what they do with Bilal. I would love Caleb Wilson. Yeah, no. Oh, my God. Oh, my God. I will be so ecstatic with Caleb Wilson, man. So ecstatic with Caleb Wilson. Oh, my God. I'm not going to lie. I would get vibes of having a number 1 overall pick with Caleb Wilson. I'm not going to lie. I am that high on Caleb Wilson. So the fact that we have to say that Caleb Wilson is a backup is crazy. I'm with you, though. You're dead right. But the fact that he's a possible backup option is insane because in usual draft classes, he's one of the top. Keaton and Kingston are the only 2 guys out of the top 4 I think could be stars. I agree with you with those 2 dudes, but I'm not going to lie. Mikal Brown Jr. and Darius Acuff, those 2 dudes are being severely underrated. I read articles saying that Mikal Brown Jr. possibly could overtake Keaton Wagler, which is crazy because Keaton Wagler's been playing amazing. But at the same time, Mikal Brown Jr. was slated to be one of the top guards, one of the top players in this draft class. Mikal Brown Jr. has been hampered by an injury, especially in the beginning of the season. And he balled, recently had 45 points. Don't sleep on Mikal Brown Jr. And measurable-wise, Mikal Brown Jr. stacks up good to Keaton Wagler with the measurables. Obviously, the combine's going to be, great, but Keaton Wagler, pushing 6'6", obviously. I love Keaton Wagler's physicality. I think he relies on that a bit too much into college basketball. But Keaton Wagler, I'm a big fan of Keaton, but I am not underrating Mikal Brown Jr. He recently had 45 points, dude. His shooting stroke is coming back, and they're comparing him to freaking Tyrese Halliburton. And you see the athleticism with Mikal Brown Jr., which is not even comparable. And no offense at all. But to Keaton Wagler, Mikal Brown Jr. has athletically kind of blows him out the water. And no offense to Keaton Wagler. I'm a huge fan of Keaton Wagler. Oh, I would love Keaton Wagler. But I am not just don't sleep on Mikal Brown Jr., dude. Don't sleep on Mikal Brown Jr. And Acuff as well. Recently had 49 points. Holy hell, with Acuff. Acuff, there's some dudes who are saying Acuff is PG1. And I don't blame them. Acuff, the only thing that's wrong with Acuff is his size, and he's 6'3", but he has a physical build. But if I see Jeremiah Fears go pick number 7 last year, and then there's no reason for Acuff, no offense to Fears, but I think definitely Acuff is the better prospect. Just saying. And also, Nate Ament looks good as well. And you still got Jaden Quayton's there as a nice roll of a dice type prospect. So I think we're fine. And on top of that, most importantly, we have a GM who knows what the hell he's doing, who's going to take the BPA / who has a really good draft board. So again, it's just keeping our pick. But I'm not worried about us losing our pick. We're going to be fine. We're going to be fine. We now have the fourth hardest schedule for the remainder of the season. We're going to be fine, dude. Keaton Wagler shooting 43% from the 3 and damn near 50% from field. Keaton Wagler also had 46. Yeah, he did. Yeah, he did earlier. Yeah. He did. I'm not trying to take anything away from Keaton. My argument was don't sleep on Mikael Brown Jr. A lot of scouts are really high. Like, this is not, I'm basically regurgitating what scouts are saying. I read a lot of articles on this, and I watch a lot of videos on this. Scouts are really high on Mikael Brown Jr. You know, I've never seen a draft class like this, man. I have never seen a draft class like this. Like, you'd have to be a buffoon to fuck up a top 8 pick in this draft class. And the thing that has me so excited also is because we have a developmental system in place that has already shown nice production from the guys we've already drafted. Long gone are the days when we have a shitty environment for draft prospects to come in here and not thrive. We actually have one of the best, in my opinion. We have one of the best. And it's shown in the draft class from 2024, all 3 dudes taking big steps this year. You know, it's showing with Trey Johnson and Will Riley now throughout the course of the season. It's showing now with Bilal Coulibaly and Vukcevic, who just gave him a contract extension. We had that, man. IDK for me, Mikael looks like a future bust. Hey, we'll see, man. We'll see. We'll see. I mean, I don't think so. I think he's not. I don't know. I don't see bust in him at all. We can agree to disagree there. I definitely see a guy who is being severely underrated. His shooting stroke, his main hampering this year has been his scoring inefficiency. I believe he's been shooting in a 31%, 33% from the 3 this year. But he's been billed coming into college as a great shooter. He just didn't get a chance to showcase it due to his injury. And then now you see him with the recent 45 game performance. You see his shot. In that 45 game performance, I believe he's made 7 threes or 8 threes. Like, you see him turning it around. Perhaps it was injury. Perhaps. But mark me very intrigued with Mikael Brown Jr. And a lot of us, I got receipts. A lot of us were very intrigued with Mikael Brown Jr. in November and December when he burst onto the scene, and then he slowed down after that. A lot of us, including myself, I'm not going to lie, I might have drank the Kool-Aid a bit too much, but he burst onto the scene, and then he slowed down for a bit. Anyways, I'm going to call it quits, dude. Going back here, shout out to the Vooch. Happy to see this. Hopefully they took him out to dinner tonight. His teammates took him out to dinner or whatever. Celebrated with him tonight. Hopefully there's more of this to come. But yeah, let me know in the comment section what y'all think about this signing. I love it. No downsides to it whatsoever. Anyways, take care, everybody. I'm dropping a video on Ted Leonce's bum ass, head ass. I'm dropping a video on Ted Leonce's in a bit. And actually right now. I promised a video on Ted Leonce's. I'm very dissatisfied in him. I'm not going to lie. I am. I'm very dissatisfied with Ted Leonce's. Regarding the recent season ticket prices increased. And in general, Ted Leonce's throughout his entire tenure here. I don't like it. I'm not buying that. But he did save my life with Will Dawkins. But we'll see. Anyways, take care, everybody. I'll see y'all in the next stream. I'll see y'all tomorrow after the Hornets game. So we'll see. Take care, everybody. Peace, y'all.